It's an honor to be with you here to support you for the next couple hours to unleash your gifts and all of that which it entails. So just a quick breakdown. I'm going to share some stories. I'm going to share a little bit about my journey because it's full of lessons. It's full of codes. It's mind-blowing where I started and where I am now. And it's meant to inspire you. So I invite you to take notes because some codes are going to come through. I'm going to share some of the keys that I've learned to succeed, whether you are a coach, a healer, an oracle, a wizard, whatever archetype, or maybe you want to be in your own way, or just to share whatever gifts you're meant to share for the world. There's some universal keys and some booby traps to avoid as well. You know, we're going to talk about some ego purification, which is very important. And then one of my amazing friends and mentors, we mentor each other, Sara, is going to come on to do a really powerful activation and share some more codes on manifestation. She's trained with masters, with ancient secrets, and so many incredible codes that are flowing through her. She's an incredible clear channel. So I'm really excited to introduce her. Then I'm going to share a few minutes about Ascent, our mastermind, for those that want to go deeper, and some more codes around just really expanding your practice, your abundance, your business, your impact, all of those things. And then we're going to end with a meditation where we're going to increase your capacity to receive. You know, after working with tens of thousands of people for the past 15 years, the number one reason that people are stuck in their business or just manifesting in general is they're blocking their capacity to receive, even though they want to receive more intimacy, more joy, more money, anything, right? More opportunities, more clients. There's these defense mechanisms in the way. So we're going to dissolve them and widely open up our ability to receive. So that's going to help you to really quantum leap right after the call into whatever actions you need to take, whatever things you want to allow into your life. So I highly recommend staying until the end. And I'm really honored that you've chosen to show up here for yourself today and to share some time with me. So I'm going to dive in here and just be real with you guys and share some stories for a bit. So essentially, to be vulnerable, where I started from, most people have no idea how low I was. I came from a broken family, and I came from such a level of trauma that I didn't even know what love was anymore. I was on the autism spectrum. I was dissociated. I had chronic anxiety, social anxiety, suicidal depression. Probably was a bit psycho schizophrenic for a bit there too. Just literally was just breaking into thousands of little shards every day. Just got worse and worse. And, you know, obviously was put on meds and went to psychologists and psychiatrists, and just got worse from that, you know, and I hear a lot of those stories. So I ended up, you know, just being on a bunch of pills, trying to make it through college, barely getting by, not really having any close friends because I wasn't close with myself. I was a complete lie. I was trying to change the way I talked and looked, and just to try to be cool because I thought deep down inside that no one could ever love me. Maybe if I change everything about me, they could like me. I didn't understand the basics of love, of emotions, of anything. And I was just literally living in hell. And you know, I remember in high school too, even like the nerds didn't want to hang with me. Like I was the untouchable. I was just so many types of mentally ill that no one really wanted to be my friend. And so, of course, that developed into so many deep complexes, right? Uh, so many deep complexes and traumas that just accumulated over the years. And I just really shut down and just decided, I don't want to be here. I don't like this life at all, one bit. So I'm just going to dissociate. Of course, that brings with it some spiritual abilities, but you know, the best spiritual ability comes from presence, and it's been taking me a lifetime to return to that presence. And through that journey, I learned a lot, and I've also succeeded in some ways after thousands and thousands of failures and crazy blowups and experiences along the way. So I'm here today to share with you this story a little bit, and it's encoded with some ways to rapidly accelerate the miracles in your life, the abundance in your life, and it all stems from your connection to the divine. because that was something that I wasn't actually comfortable with. That was something that I wasn't actually allowing myself to connect with for most of my life. Even when I was on the spiritual path, I didn't really understand what that was. So I'm here today to share literally the greatest things that I've learned. And I'm just truly excited that you're here to receive it. And my prayers that it sparks the remembrance inside of you that whatever dream is inside of you, that you've totally got this. Because if I could do it, anyone can do it, period. I literally couldn't function in the most basic of ways. Um, you know, on my healing journey, I went to a African shaman and lived with him for close to a year doing these plant medicines from Africa. And that was the beginning of just rewiring my brain. And, his diagnosis, literally word for word, when he met me, he's never met anyone like me, was like, your mind is fucked, buddy. He literally said that. Like, that was his diagnosis. Like, he was just blown away, like how many layers of wrong that was in my brain. So I literally went through, uh, you know, so many different layers of healing just to become functional, because I didn't even know how to take care of myself. I was like a man baby, a man child. And I can laugh about it now. There was so much shame around it for so many years. So it's healing just to like share where I actually came from. And this was not a natural state, right? This is from being poisoned. This is from programming. And, it's an extreme case, but to some degree, we've all dealt with being in a world where there's systemic harm, where we're not in a world where everyone's benevolent and out to love you, right? And so it's that way because it's like a gym. We're here to learn about dark and light and to be initiated and become sovereign and to expand and awaken from this dance of dark and light, which was created by the divine to teach us as a school of love. And so through this process, a lot has occurred. And so, first on my journey was realizing that I have a gift of healing. I actually had it as a little boy, and then it shut down. And then it started coming back when I started waking up around 20. And I started with learning Reiki, and some amazing energy started coming out. And I was like, wow, there's something here. So the gift came back very fast. And it wasn't really about learning and refining the gifts as much, even though that's important, as dissolving and integrating the ego structures, because that's what was really in the way. And we're going to go deep into that today, because that's really the pitfalls that we're all stuck in. And ego doesn't just mean, oh, you're being too proud, you need to be humble. It could be the opposite. It could be you're scared to share your messages and shine your light and be seen because of past trauma, and you're just holding the brakes on, right? And so today's about really unleashing your gifts, unleashing your light to the world. And it's meant to be an activation, both through meditation and storytelling and sharing some codes for you. So, basically I realized I need a lot of healing, and it's gonna require a lot of money, because it was all these health issues too, right? All sorts of things, like chronic fatigue, I could barely think. So I started this journey, and it started with a Craigslist post, right? And I said, hey, if anyone needs help, donation only, pay whatever you want. And there was a woman that reached out, and she was ready to commit suicide. And I gave her a healing session, and she said, I'll pay you $20. And at the end of the healing session, she didn't want to kill herself anymore. She had such profound healing, and she had me wait for an hour to go to the bank to actually come back and give me $60, which was for her a lot, but what she really wanted to give me. And I really felt that. And it was the beginning of my dance receiving. And, there's a lot of programming around receiving money for your spiritual gifts. I think all gifts are spiritual. You can be a pianist, you can be an athlete, right? I think everything is spiritual. Yet there's been a lot of programming around, first of all, most people are programmed to believe your gifts don't even exist, right? So people ask me what I do if they're in the matrix, like, what am I going to say, right? So that's something to get over, which I've totally gone over now. I'm out of the wizard closet, and I'm not sure if you are, but that's part of the process for whatever, archetype you are, right? And you can be an oracle, you can be a seer, you could be an energy practitioner, right? Or multiple things, right? Usually it's a combination, and that's our natural state. But the programming besides gaslighting people into it no longer existing, before, centuries ago, they were killed for this. And now there's additional programming where it's like, okay, for the people that know what's going on, let's just guilt you into, you shouldn't be charging, you shouldn't be charging a lot. Um, and so for many years, I was just doing donation or just doing it for free. And that was perfect for me at the time because I got to sharpen my sword. I got really good at what I did. And I really enjoyed that. It felt good for a while. But then I started, realizing, look, I've been broke for years. I'm sacrificing myself. It's very easy for me to caretake other people, but very hard for me to receive. And what was hard to look at was I wasn't doing it purely because I was selfless and this, benevolent being, but because I was just scared to ask for support. I was scared to receive because it wasn't safe as a child, right? So a lot of you here, we'll open the chat here in a moment. Who here is it very easy to give, right? Very easy to caretake, but it's hard to receive or ask or charge something. So that's really right, me, right? It's so common. And so let me just break this down for a minute, actually, since it's pretty much mostly everyone, right? Like literally everyone is saying it right now. Here's why. It's because, and this is not your parents' fault, but because it comes from thousands of years of programming, right? So they did their best, right? But usually it's your parent, one or both parents, or people in your life. They're both your safety and your fear. It's a mix. So when that happens, you start compensating and becoming independent. And we're also taught in this society today, oh, you need to be more independent, which is, totally an extreme. We're meant to be interdependent, right? The most successful people today have armies of people supporting them, right? The successful CEO is just really good at delegating, right? So we've been programmed to either be codependent or independent, and they're both two extremes. So it's about feeling safe again to receive and just ask like, hey, I'd really like this from you. And being okay saying no. And a lot of it also, you're scared to ask is because you're scared to have boundaries and make agreements with yourself. So you've lost your trust in yourself, your self-esteem. We're going to get into that too. So the more that you can actually be respectful towards yourself and start honoring your own boundaries and agreements, the easier it is for you to receive, because you're going to be able to ask and be more direct. And it's so powerful, because this was literally crippling me. I couldn't even ask the people closest to me or tell them some of the things I was feeling. It was like my desires were just cut completely. And this is such a collective programming, right? This is how our power is cut. And this is just a lesson for us, because we never really lost it. There's just a story we're attached to, or an identity saying, oh, I can't do this. It's dangerous. But as soon as we release that protection mechanism, it's a part of our psyche that's been programmed to push away abundance, okay? To push away what we want the most. But it's our energy. So we're not a victim, and it's your responsibility to look at it, to rewrite the past. And we can do this in minutes, right? We do this all the time. And to retire that part of yourself, right? You're saying, thank you so much for protecting me. I know you did your best, and we're done. You're retired. And we talk about inner child healing a lot. Many people that do inner child healing, it's great, but they don't get the most important part. It's like, you're doing it for 30 years and your inner child is still, doesn't seem quite healed, to be honest. Why? Because you're not focusing on strengthening your adult, right? Your true self, the part of you that is needed, that little child didn't have as a child, right? To feel safe so it can actually let go and be like, okay, I trust you now, I'll let go. I'm waiting for you to show up. And so these are some of the codes that you want to really to work with, right? And so what happened is, when I started using my intuition instead of my programming to charge, not only was I able to heal so much of myself, my physical issues, and learn more, but have such a bigger impact where now there's literally thousands of people every month that I can give classes to for free. And then there's mini classes I have, and then there's more expensive classes that take a lot more work and put a lot more energy in. And so, anyone can receive transformations and support from me now, and I can literally do that to thousands of people more and more every month by just being in integrity with my intuition, which is guiding me, which is the strategy, the ultimate strategy above the concept. It's like, well, okay, well, what about the economy now, or what about this person? And what that really is, I did that so many times where I felt bad for people, I felt guilty, and a lot of times those were the people that created the most trouble and ended up draining me because they were actually entitled, and I was taking on their karma, and then I had to play that out over and over and over again. And when I stopped doing that, I stopped having drama with my life and my business, and was able to help way more people, and people got better transformations out of it. So there's this uh, law of reciprocity, and it's different for everyone because, again, we all have a different strategy. So what I'm sharing today is not saying for you, I'm just sharing what's worked for me, and then you take whatever resonates, right? But I feel like not a lot of people want to talk about this because they want to look a certain way spiritually. But being spiritual is just letting your intuition rule above the mind, above any concept, right? And so the more you just surrender to what feels aligned, what you know is right within yourself, and trust that, the more in alignment you are, and the more in alignment you can support the world to be a more beautiful place. So here's how I started. I want to share just a few minutes of like, here's the process of me going from a Craigslist donation ad to a 7-figure business, literally working with the top billionaires, royalty, and all sorts of incredible people, and 50,000 students around the world in the past year that I've trained. It's really mind-blowing. It all just really picked up in a whole new way. So I want to share with you a few of the steps that I took to get there, some of the inner work, right, the spiritual keys, but also some of the practical things, and also some of the pitfalls. Because if I could just help one person avoid one of these pitfalls, oh my God, that'd be worth it today, because I went through so many, and most of them I've never talked about before. But at the end of the day, it's all this karmic imprints where we don't have to go through them if we learn the lesson and we stay in awareness, right? And for me, because I didn't have that unconditional love and that health and the basic building blocks of childhood and foundation, I had to go through literally hundreds of pitfalls over the past 15 years, from when I started with my first spiritual energy healing awakening experience that I received, which started me on my path, to where I am now. So basically, I started charging, an hourly session, and I started just doing word of mouth. I didn't have a website. I went to a business coach, and it helped so much. I did like a 2-day mastermind with a spiritual business coach, and he said one of the things was like, create a package that no one can afford. And that's not actually true, right? The thought form no one can afford is based off your old identity, right? So if your identity, your mind saying like, oh, no one would, pay $80,000 for a package, that's crazy. So like, choose that. So that's what I did. And then the first person that I offered it to said, oh, that's what I thought it would be. And he got it right away. And then I sold 5 of those that year. So that year, after just the first part of me having a mentor for a few days, because it unlocked so many things that I was stuck in, what happened, right? 5 times 80K and a few other little things, 20K things people got. And I was working, not a lot, very part-time. I was able to get a house in Costa Rica on like dozens of acres of rainforest, and finally just relax my nervous system and stop worrying about money and like do deeper healing. And I had this rebirth experience, and so many new friends came in, and it was such a beautiful healing experience that I never got because I was in fight or flight my whole life. So that was the first year where I made some abundance. And then I started just doing that. And by the way, I still didn't have a website. And we're going to get into how you can do this, because it's not a time-based paradigm, right? It's you, if you're speaking your truth as a channel and saying, okay, this is what I see in you, this is how I can get you here. And it started with a gift. I gifted each one of these people an hour, and I gave them a session because my intuition was like, just give them a session. I was listening to my intuition, right? And then from that gift, which was detached, right? You're not gifting them to make money. You're just gifting them because your intuition is guiding you to, right? And it feels good. And that's what happened. And that's without a team, without any business, right? And so I started doing that for a few years. So I'm doing some high-end coaching because I was still healing so much and I wasn't able to really take a lot of time to do too much else. But in the back of my head, it's like there's so many other people I want to support that can't afford that. So for me, that was a way to just work really part-time and help a few people so I could heal myself, right? And it just depends what phase you're in. And then COVID happened, and then I was like, I'm just going to start a school. And for the first 6 months or so, I just made it free. I had close to 1,000 people, and I just started making all these classes and just wanted to support people because I've never really done online classes before. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to make my first class. I'm going to make it about, a little under $300, a 30-day transformation. And it was really fun to make. And that's the quest that's there now. Thousands of people have transformed from it. And that's when I started learning about the internet, and I started running advertisements. And that did really well. And then I decided I'm going to do a mastery course. So I'm going to share a few numbers here just to inspire you, because this is, from a Craigslist ad making $60. When I first shared my 8-week certification, I'm like, I want to teach people to do what I can do, and in 8 weeks, and just teach them all the best things that I could do. And the first class we did made over $300,000. So I did a 2-day event, donation-based event. You could pay $1, and I had a few thousand people come, and I had a bunch of people sign up, and it was actually amazing. And it didn't take a huge amount of work to do this class. And I was like, and it helps way more people. It felt so good. So then after a couple iterations of that, I decided to make a Rapid Awakening course, which is a 3-month transformation, and just go deeper into the awakening and the manifestation, which had even greater results in so many areas. It just took it to a whole new level. And the first time I launched that, I think I had about 6,000 people sign up for that 2-day live event. And I made over $860,000 in sales from that little 2-day Zoom, right? Just on Zoom, pretty simple. And so there are many ways to spread the word, and that's can be with advertisement, that can be organic, meaning with social media. For example, I just started doing professional reels about 6 weeks ago. I decided okay, I'm going to start just making cool videos, 60 seconds, 90 seconds. I think one of them just got to like 6.7 million views that just got posted a couple weeks ago, right? And these are just like a minute of me just saying a few things coming through. It doesn't take a lot of time. And it's based off, just editing it the right way and opening it the right way. And of course, the energy, right? It's just like I tune in, I'm like, what wants to come through, and I just let it through. So there's always the inner and outer work. But if you remember one thing from today, the vast majority of all this is the energy, right? It's the quantum, it's the vibration. It's not the strategy, because you could get the best team in the world and you could do all these things, and all these things will happen if you're not in alignment, and it won't work. So I'm going to share a few things about the 3D today also, but it's really important that, the majority of it it's the root is from that alignment. So, something I want to share that not a lot of people talk about, again, because I just want to help people with this program, because it's been very annoying for years and been projected on me and so many of us about having trouble charging. The truth is that for thousands of years, the wizards, the oracles, the seers, the shamans, they were the most revered and the highest paid people in the world, right? Whether you're in a tribe and everyone is just, cooking for you and giving you things and thanking you, or, in the royal court, where they were literally the highest paid position. So why? It's because that, so many of us, you can become like a concert pianist, and it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of respect, right? You practice every day. You got to maybe face some fears of playing in front of a crowd and perform under pressure. But, those are the main components of it. Whereas if you're, let's say, a psychic, right, an oracle, or, working with different fields, from childhood until death, there's all these layers of entities and ego and different lessons, and you have to continually purify yourself, and you're never done. It's so much work. And I like to think of it like we are living thousands of different lives in one lifetime, because whenever we tune into someone, we start feeling their energy. We see their dead grandmother, and we feel their pain, and we see the timeline, and our human feels it too, and it's so much stuff to clear, and we don't get credit for it. And what I realized is, it's not about having a bunch of money for just the sake of it. I've never had a fancy car. I don't think I ever will, because I just think it's stupid. What I have is the highest medical technologies that I can use to upgrade my consciousness so I can be of even greater service, right? And the top coaches that can support me in opening my voice and doing all of these different things, and being able to have access to incredible experiences and retreats, and organic food that's not poisoned, right? And so it takes a lot to really have an environment that truly is conducive, where you can feel safe to truly channel your truth and your magic. And there's been this collective program more and more that we shouldn't charge, or that we should feel ashamed about charging. And I think that's part of the agenda, to just keep us powerless, because if we actually took care of ourselves and stopped blocking our God-given right to receive what we need and nourish ourselves, the world would completely transform. And that's what's happening right now. We are transforming the world, right? We're at the very end of a very long cycle, the beginning of a new one, period, right? You could see it with what's going on. You could see it in all the different calendars of the enlightened masters channeling it for thousands of years. And that's what's happening. So it's time to be okay receiving, because every time I did that, I was able to give so much more. I didn't realize that what I was giving 10 years ago was, a lot of it was the savior archetype, the caretaker archetype. And there was all this ego attached to it, and all this scarcity, and all this repressed desire on the side to maybe get money later, but I'm not going to ask for it because I'm broke, but I'm ashamed. That's not being stoic at all. And so I'm sharing it with you now and being vulnerable of where I was, because, I'd love to invite you to look at if and where you're still holding some of those programs, and to realize, just don't lie to yourself that you're being a good person, right? The nice guy, the nice person archetype, it's a program, because there's a much deeper love that comes from just being authentic. It's an infinitely higher vibration. So you are a spark of the divine. So take the brakes off, get out of the way. The good news is you're eternal, so you're never going to die. Sorry to burst your bubble. And what are you afraid of, right? So there's so much that can happen when we let go of the ego and all the fears that it has, the attachments. One of the biggest fears I had for so many years was like, if I come out, if I shine my light, I'm going to get killed, right? Then I realized, all fear is a reversal. It's actually creating the fear right now, tricking you that if you break out of the cage, that you're going to get it, but it's actually there right now. So what I realized was like, whoa, like I'm not even living right now, because I'm letting this fear stop me from being me and doing what I'm here to do, right? So that was really mind-blowing. People are going to ridicule me if I come out and tell people that I have these abilities and I can support people and start sharing that with the world. What I realized was I was already ridiculing myself for letting these people that were blind potentially and care what they think, which, if someone's brainwashed and they can't see, right? If there's a blind person on the street and they laugh at your painting and say it's ugly, are you going to really give it much credit? No. But that's the same thing. It's like, if people don't know, if they can't see, if they're blind, right? Why are we so attached to it? That's all fear is a complete illusion. And the only way is to face it, right? People keep asking, how do I release this fear? How do I release this fear? It's like, that's the problem. You're trying to release it. You need to face it. You need to stand up for yourself and stay neutral and look through it and say, okay, what's the worst that can happen? And follow it till the end, right? And face it so that it no longer has a grip on you, that it no longer has a hold on you. So, another one is, I'm going to get overwhelmed if I have more responsibility. But the truth is, you're probably already overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed because you don't have enough money. You're working at a job you don't like, or you're just listening to your ego all day. That's tricking you. So again, when you break out of the cage, when you release out of the cocoon and spread your wings, things are completely different. You have the angels helping you. You have the universe helping you in such greater ways because you're in alignment. So don't extrapolate where you are now into the future with the limitations you're in. Every time you take a leap, you get another superpower, you get more support. And it in so many ways becomes easier, and because you're not in this little pressure cooker. So it's a complete illusion, and a lot of us are just waiting and waiting for years to just take that leap, and that's okay because you can't rush a masterpiece. But I'm inviting you to realize that you are ready. If you're on this call, you are ready to take your next leap right now. There's not just one. Life is a continual leap, and every time we take a leap, we live more, we love more, and we get rewarded more, and it's so worth it. Because I was in that cage for most of my life, and so I can speak to this. So, I'd like to take a moment and just shift gears, because I would like to open the chat again and hear from you what your unique gift is. So before you share, I invite you to close your eyes for just a minute and connect with your angels and see this beautiful golden light. Connect with your mind and just listen. What is one of your superpowers? What is one of your divine gifts? How would you word it in a sentence? And if you'd like, you can share it in the chat. So we've got things all over. It could be dancing, creativity, healing the unknown, channeling frequencies, a writer, poet, divine channel, right? And I love, because these are all alchemized. It's usually a combination of things that is unique to you. And, think about what you loved as a child too. For me, I'm getting back into singing and playing the piano, and comedy all as part of the show. So I'm going to be creating a show soon, and doing live events again. So I'll announce that. And, that part of me got shut off, and I was doing all the healing stuff without it. And now that's coming on. So I also want to invite you to take a moment and be like, is there more, right? Are there other aspects that I used to love as a child that I maybe stopped doing, or were like, no, I can't do that, right? And I'm seeing so many beautiful things here. This is mind blowing. This is just like, wow. I literally feel the energy of them as you're sharing them. I think a lot of you can too, right? This is just so beautiful to just be in a room. We have 333 participants right now that are all sharing from around the world. And thank you for just speaking it into existence and not hiding anymore and owning it, because it's a gift from the divine. It's not your gift to hold back. Someone told me that once, and I got chills. I was like, whoa, because I was saying like, well, I'm just scared to be seen. And it's like, it's not your gift to hide. It's the divine gift, right? And that really helped me get out of the ego a little bit more. So imagine this. Imagine that reality is a garden, and to plant a garden, you have to remove the weeds, the cruft, right? Those layers of the old programming, because if you plant a garden with all these weeds around it, it's not going to work out that well. So it takes that daily care to prune those relationships. And some relationships doesn't mean you have to get rid of them. It could just be making a boundary or a new dynamic, right? Just speaking your truth, and then it feels aligned again. So it's that daily work. And a lot of us have gotten lazy or just overwhelmed, and it's like, I can't do it, it's too much. And I've been there. That was me most of my life again, right? There's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not going to say, okay, it's just Instacart. You can be completely successful. It takes discipline. It takes discipline, period. And that's why, the law of care talks about, if you water a seed once a month, it's not going to work. You got to do it daily. You got to do it regularly, at least, right? With that consistency. And discipline, what is discipline? Discipline is self-love. So if you have trouble with discipline, you have trouble with self-love, and that's okay, because again, that's been me my whole life. So the more that we work on that self-love, right? Because the other love is easy, but a lot of it's an illusion, because when we don't self-love, when we betray ourselves consistently, right? When you keep creating experiences where we're being pushed to the side and then we externalize it, we're like, you took advantage of me. You took advantage of me again, for years and years. That is you having an issue with self-love, period. You don't have a problem with relationships. You have a problem with self-love, because it all stems from you tolerating these things. Now, some people might get triggered by that and be like, well, what about this? And what about this? I'm like, listen, like I can list on an encyclopedia the level of scams and scam artists and abusive people and narcissists and things that have been in my life. It's been insane. But the only way that I was able to stop that pattern was to take full responsibility, to see how I co-created it by not listening to my intuition, by not speaking my truth when I felt something, by sacrificing something inside because I thought I needed something outside and for whatever, even if it was for good intentions, right? And so again, it's about self-love, right? If you have trouble with self-love, make that the priority. And self-love is dissolving the ego, because love dissolves fear and separation. It's the ultimate force, as you know. So let's talk about the ego, right? When I started, and when the first time I did Reiki, the Reiki teacher was like, oh my God, I've never felt energy so powerful as yours, right? And she was like a Reiki master, but 2 years, 3 years, just starting out. But for me, that was like, oh my God, I'm really powerful, I'm different, I'm special than everyone, right? And that created an identity. And it wasn't necessarily bad, right? It was just an undeveloped ego that's like, oh wow, it's about me, right? Because I didn't get past that stage of infancy throughout my life from my childhood. So I was still in that state of the ego. And it's hard for us to admit that if you're a 30, 40, 50-year-old man, woman, whatever. And, but shame is what hides these things. Shame is the lowest vibration. And so, me speaking it is healing it even more for me. And I hope for you, because, sometimes it's not easy to share these things, but, they used to just enslave me, caring what people think. And now I'm like, okay, that was my experience. I had to go through that. I never had the tools to go through that earlier, right? So then, I got into plant medicine, and then I realized, oh my God, I'm psychic, but I need drugs so I can be psychic. So then I was like, oh no, like it can't be just in me. I'm not good enough, right? So there's both. There's those insecurities, the overcompensations, and then realized, wait, I don't need to take anything to be able to tap in, right? Then there's, I started getting good. Like I started practicing, and I just got really good at what I do. This thing came through, and all of a sudden I was, had billionaires and celebrities, and I was like really excited about it, but my identity was like, you're not good enough for that. Like, that's good. And I kept sabotaging it. Like one of the most famous actors of our time, he was like, okay, can you give him a session, change his life? I was like, okay, I'm going on stage in front of thousands of people tonight. Can you call me 30 minutes before and just give me a little attunement? I was like, yes, totally. And then I just didn't call, I ghosted, because it was a self-sabotage, right? Another time was I was at this country club, this billionaire, the top founder of one of the top companies in the world, right? I got there off a plane, like really tired. I sabotaged the night before, so I was like really in a bad vibe. And I wore slippers to this country club where everyone's like in a suit and like, it's just all the nicest etiquette. And I didn't really give him the best session, after I gave him an initial one. So it was something about like trying to put the brakes on. It's like, I'm not ready, because why would you self-sabotage that, Daniel? You might ask. It's like, well, if you have a fear of being killed, if you have a fear of being ridiculed, if you have a fear of responsibility, it's going to be too much, then your subconscious is like, well, I'm trying to protect you. You don't want to be killed, right? So think about it for you. Like, what are your stories? It's like, if I am successful, ... what's the worst that can happen? Take a minute and write them down right now, because this is going to really help. And the key is loving it. You got to be friends with it. It's because the issue is we're mad at it. We're like, how do I get rid of it? How do I get rid of this? That's separation. It's about integrating it. It's about realizing this part of you is just trying its best to protect you. And you guys need to just be friends again and have a conversation. Maybe it's going to take a month where you talk to this part of you every single day, but it's worth it. It's kind of like you're driving a car and the brake doesn't work, and you're like, well, I tried to fix it once, it didn't work, so I'm just going to keep driving it. I'm like, no, you're gonna, even if it takes a month or a year, you're going to fix that brake, right? But why don't we have that mentality for something way more important, our own consciousness, which is guiding our entire life and affecting our family and so many people. So, these are some of the things that are important. Is you clear the layers of cruft, right? Which is the layers of programming in the old operating system, so you can download the new operating system. And the key to that is you're realizing you broke trust with yourself. right? It's been hard for you to keep your agreements. So you got to rebuild little by little. And it takes discipline, that law of care, the daily watering. You can start very small, just like, hey, I'm going to meditate for 1 minute a day. And you build those points back. You build that trust back for you, for the divine, and your self-esteem grows again. And then things that seemed impossible are going to be easy. It's a process. It's a journey. It's not a one and done, right? In ancient times, there were schools that would initiate you in this. And this is something that many of us are missing today, where we have these mentors, and these mentors would be tough on us. And, for many years, I was scared of that because I just wasn't ready to just be called out and see all this stuff. I was hiding. But now, all my mentors, they're so direct. And it's so funny sometimes. I'm like, oh my God. But every time they do that, they pop these bubbles for me. And I've been able to grow so fast. And it's this ancient guild where, in ancient times, you didn't go to college and just do this like factory level BS programming, which is most of it that's out there. Not all of it, but a lot of it today. It's mentor, apprentice, the guild, sharing secrets in like-minded amount of people that have the same heart for and passion for a certain craft. So if you would do it to become one of the best pianists, why don't you do it, or one of the best actors or musicians? You go to, an agency now. But where is that for all the magical folk that are the leaders of shining the light and consciousness on the planet at this time? And so that's something I'm going to get to here in a few minutes, to share something that was just birthed. But essentially, whatever you do, it's that mentorship. One example is, okay, I love magical objects. So I literally manifested meeting what arguably could be the number one or maybe top three in the world creator of magical objects, because, the top prime ministers in the world and royalty, that's the guy they call to make their magic ring or whatever, right? And it's bound to angels that can do different things for you. The angels are so powerful. And as many of you know, that's who I work with. And it's been such an incredible journey. So one example is a few days ago, I used my pendant. I was at, a month ago, I was at this event, and there was about 300 people there, and I had just received a magic pendant from him. And so I held it and asked the angels, there was this one person there that was one of my favorite musicians. He has close to 100 million followers, so a little hard to get to, but I just felt like, I feel like I want to support him in some way on the spiritual path. And so I just used it. And then within a few minutes, we were just in front of each other and we're talking, and he had a profound experience and was like, whoa, this is absolutely incredible. And then we met up a few days ago, and I talked to him and said, hey, have you ever channeled an angel in your music? And he literally freaked out, was like, I literally channeled my first angel yesterday. And so now I'm going to be teaching him more about that and, seeing what happens. But it's just so beautiful to be able to manifest things like that, right? It's just an example where you can literally, when it's in a good intention, the angels will support you always. And you don't need a magic pendant for that, but it definitely helps, because it just makes it so much easier, because it holds that energy where the angels are just there. Because you need, there's different levels of purification to work with the angels, because if you're doing all these negative things, you're attached to all this negative energy, they can't really be there as much. They could try, but it's densities. There's laws of the universe, right? And it's, the more that you are open and purified, the easier it is to communicate with them and for them to actually listen to you, because you're more and more on a similar vibration, right? So this is something that really helps. And so having mentors like this that make these objects or keep popping my bubbles, and I have a celebrity voice coach now that's helping me to sing, because I'm like, I want to play the piano and channel music for people for healing. And so it's just mind-blowing, every single time. So many layers are coming off, right? There's so many things. And whoever you want to work with, it's worth it, because you're going to be guided to that ancient model probably of being able to receive that support, which includes some one-on-one guidance, those little adjustments on a regular basis, that's what I found is the most effective. So speaking of that, I would love to share my friend Sara, who's going to be coming on here in a minute. So she is one of my best friends, and we've mentored each other. We've been friends for years. We've been through so many magical experiences. And she's actually going to be co-creating a beautiful mastermind with me starting in a few weeks. And I felt called to bring her on because she has some mind-blowing secrets and ancient wisdom to share from many different masters and traditions. So we're going to put her on here now in a second. There we go.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I wish that I could see everyone's faces. How are you all today? I'm just going to move my camera. Daniel's such an incredible human, isn't he? For those of you who have been following for a while, you already know. And for those of you who might be new, I'd love to share first and foremost why I support Daniel, why I have chosen to be a part of this, and just truly how much I believe in him as a human and in the work that he's doing today. When I first met Daniel a couple years ago, he radically changed my life with just a few short words. So many things started to change so quickly. And since then, the trajectory of my life has changed dramatically. I remember the first conversation we had, he unlocked $50,000 for me. And it was in like 2 days or 24 hours later, the money landed in my bank account. And he's just full of wisdom and insight and really connected to the divine realm in a way that I have never quite felt before. So I deeply, deeply love him and very much support his work and what he's doing. So thank you all. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this space with you guys. What a magical, amazing, sorry, pausing my music, place for us to be today. I have some codes, tips, tricks. So make sure you have your pen and your paper ready. And before we jump into some ancient secrets and channeled wisdom that I feel will change your life, I'm going to place your body into the energetics of it, of what you desire. And I think it's helpful that I share with you shortly a little about my story and why it is you would even listen to the things that I'm saying today. So like Daniel, I was really sick growing up, and I grew up in a house full of trauma and abuse. Yeah, I love Daniel too. I see all the chats going. I'd love to see yeses in the chat. Like, are you a yes for this in this moment? I want to get your bodies into the yeses. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. All right. So I was diagnosed disabled by the age of 17 and told that I would never work. I started doing methamphetamines at the age of 13. I started having sex at 13. I started legally dancing as an exotic dancer at the age of 17. And through a series of miracle moments, I have pulled my life out, and I now own multiple business ventures. I've traveled to 23 countries this year alone, and I am a sovereign single mama. So you guys can imagine, just this year, I've traveled to that many countries. In a few weeks, I'll be speaking on stage to almost 1 million people, and I am the founder of something called Sanctuary. I'm building a mini city, myself and the other founders, and building these mini cities all over the world, completely eco-sovereign luxury. So I want that to land in your body. If you have any doubts about where you are or where you can go, if Daniel and I are not two beacons of light to show you that anything is possible for your life, you know, I don't know what is. Like, truly, with my whole heart, from classified disabled to perfect health, I smile going to sleep. I smile waking up. I'm so excited about life. And some of the keys I'm going to share with you today will unlock that from today. If you take the action today, I will hear back from you in a few weeks that you've noticed the difference. So lean back, close your eyes, and join me just for a few moments as I lock into your body the feeling of the knowing of your manifestations coming to fruition. So I want you to take a few deep breaths with me. Deeply in through your nose and slowly out of your mouth. Just calming yourself to stillness, to silence, to solitude. The 3 keys that can help you to unlock all that you desire is in this stillness. Now I want you to imagine that in front of you is either your favorite dessert. Is it like lemon meringue pie or chocolate cream? Maybe you don't like desserts. Maybe there's a favorite flower and you love that smell. I want you to imagine it. Maybe it's trees in the forest or fresh water. I want you to smell it. I want you to feel it. I want you to sense it in all of your body. What does it taste like? And I want you to imagine that you're going to pick it up, touch it, feel your feet on the ground, or taste it. Is there any part of you that doubts that you can put that pie in your mouth? No. Is there any part of you that doubts you can pick that flower to smell it, to take it home? No. You're walking through the forest, maybe. Is there any part of you that doubts that you can touch that tree? Put your feet in the water. No. Lock that smell into your body. Lock the taste, lock the feeling of having versus hoping. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to this room with me. Having versus hoping is your birthright. You were born to make manifest your design in this life. You have been given keys to unlock everything you desire. It is the universal law. It is God's gift to you. It is your divine realm that's ever always present for you in your life. There are a few keys that I feel will block you from obtaining the things that you desire, and a few keys that will help you to unlock what it is that you desire. So if you got your pen and your paper ready, just listening. I love the chats. I'm in. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Number 1, a reason why you might not be unlocking the things that you desire in your life is because you are not saying no enough. Now, I want you to think about that in your life. How many times are you answering the phone when maybe you should have it on silent writing that book? How many times have you said yes to going out somewhere when it didn't feel fully alive to you and maybe your spirit or your soul was asking for alone space? Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you were invited to go somewhere, but you felt the fear of what other people think. So here's something to write down in this moment. When the people pleaser in you dies, so when everybody say it, write it, say it out loud where you're sitting right now. When the people pleaser in me dies, the God in me will arise. So wherever you are people pleasing, saying no when you mean yes and yes when you mean no, you are not saying no enough to the things that are distracting you in your life. You're pulling yourself off the course, and all of these micro moments are what end up feeding the macro. So you have to really have discernment for your life. Where is it that you are not saying no? enough and not following the truth of your song, of your voice, of your desires. Number 2, you see the world through lack. There's not enough money. I tell you, there's a lot of money. I've worked with orphans around the world. I've worked with homeless around the world, and I co-fund and run an entire school for kids in Colombia. I am all about the mission, and I am all about serving humanity. And I grew up homeless at times. I really understand from being in food box line and on food stamps, not having any idea how I would even pay for tampons, to now the ventures that I own. I understand seeing the eyes through lack, and now I understand that money is just an illusion. And I speak of money in abundance because I know that you guys who choose to be connected with Daniel, when you, the heart-centered humans, have money in your bank, you will feed the homeless, you will feed the orphans, and you will take care of the world as it needs to be taken care of. So the most honorable thing you can do is expand your wealth. So seeing the eyes through your eyes of the world in abundance, radically, how much abundance is in this world. I want you to, for a moment, when you get off this call, go into a meditative state and imagine that you see the whole world and all of the banks, all of the money, and know that it all is connected to you. You have infinite resources. Money is just an illusion. So instead of thinking that people have lack or that there's a lack of anything, I want you to start shifting your perspective on there is so much more than I can even imagine. The other one, which is one of my favorites, is you're not going big enough. How many of you have tried so many times to get this job, or you wanted this thing and it's like door closed, door closed, door closed? Why could I not? Why is this not working? Y'all, you're not going big enough. Your soul has already said yes to its highest evolution. It's already there. It's already done. It's already written. And so until you step into your genius, until you step into that, you're going to get sick. You're going to be pulled off. The doors are going to be shut. So if the doors are shutting, you're just not going big enough. So your vision needs to go bigger. And what's funny about this, if you guys have ever heard of the stories about it's easier to get a $5,000 client than it is a $500 client, I can attest to this. True. Because often when you're in the energetics of more, it just opens up more. It opens up easier. And you're going to start to notice this. I want you guys to entertain the irrational. From this moment on, I want you to start imagining, so just so it lands into your body, I want you to imagine that Louis Vuitton, right? He makes this bag and he just decides in his mind, he's going to charge $10,000 for a bag. Anybody else going to tell him he's fucking crazy, right? Forgive my F words here, but let's think about this. But he has such conviction and faith that someone else is running around like, I just want to have a bag that shows that I have wealth. And they align with each other, easy sale. So when you start to entertain the irrational, that this doesn't need to make sense, the more you can start to see that God, the angels, your higher self get to start just playing in your life so that you can magnetize miracles. So remember that when you're not going big enough, go bigger. F as you wish. I get on a thing here. All right. The last one that I'll say that is a hinder into your life. And this is a big one. And I have so many other tips and tricks that you guys will get later if you're in this juice with Daniel. He has so much more coming for you guys. Is your mouth. What you say with your mouth, you create in your life. Have you guys ever seen the Harry Potter scene where he's taking the wand and puts it into the water? And I think Daniel's actually one that had quoted this a while ago. You literally have a connection to this energetic vortex that exists around you all the time. And if you're over here saying, I'm in pain, I'm broke, I can't afford that, that's not for me, I have a fear of this, you're locking into your cells the truth that is not truth. And you have that right. You have that co-creative ability. So as long as you're choosing to have that belief system, then that's what you're going to continue to manifest. Yeah. So what you speak, you create. I want you to notice everything that you're saying. It's okay if you do it, cancel, clear it, and restate it. So for example, instead of saying, I'm afraid of heights, you could say, the feeling of fear flows through me when but I'm getting braver and braver and braver. And as somebody who used to be afraid of heights, I've jumped out of planes on my own. Like, these are all stories. Diagnosed up the wazoo with every label in the book of sickness, like Daniel said, chronic fatigue syndrome. 16 seconds is all it took for me to heal that. When I realized that my mind was playing a role in all of these labels, it took me 16 seconds. And the minute I decided I will no longer have these disabilities, God, the universe, our angels all started to put our higher self into alignment in my life, everything I needed to heal it. Like that, I have more energy than anybody else around me. 16 seconds. So whatever label, whatever limit that you have, 16 seconds. And when you decide with your mind, with conviction, with faith, it'll all start to unfold for you. I don't know how much longer I have. I didn't get that from Daniel. So I'm going to give you guys a few keys that are going to help to place what you desire in your life instead of the things that are hindering you. I'm going to give you some keys, and then Daniel's going to ping me when I have to get off. So there's a few things that I feel are redundant, but I'm going to say it now because I can't stress this enough. Your life is made up of the micro moments. Just all the small moments where you can just notice, wow, I love this desk. I love these people. I love this moment. It's in all these small moments where you are saying yes or no. And I really can't, like, at the end of the day, I can't stress this enough. When you look at your whole day and you think to yourself, where did the day go? Where did all those micro moments end up in? And there are some things for me that are non-negotiable. And one of them is nature walks every day. You guys have energy on you. So nature walks, ice baths, sauna, I do enemas, like it or not like it. Keeping your temple really clean is one of the best ways to keep your frequency high. And I will say that your energy is one of the most important things when you're attracting what you want in your life. And so if you can take care of your temple and keep your energy high, you're just making life easy. You put yourself into the flow state of taking care of you. God and your life and higher self can start to take care of things for you. So those micro moments are really what leads to the macro. So start checking yourself. Where is your day going? Second, are you manifesting from ego versus love? So your vision is really important when you're going after something you want, but is that vision rooted in ego or is it rooted in love? I always tell my peeps that if you want a Maserati, great. But if you want a Maserati to impress people, you're going to get a Miserati and one fat bill. But if you want it because that's what lights up your heart, then you're going to get a Maserati, but you don't want a Miserati. So you need to check yourself when you stay or when you make an intention in your life, which is something you should do all throughout the day. Is this coming from love or is it coming from ego? Because your manifestations are going to show up for you, but there's going to be static in it. It's not going to feel so good if it's from ego. So check yourself. Number 2, I want you guys to write down right now. You put it in the chat, put it in your notebooks. You're going to ask yourself when you get off this call, what would you do if you could do anything? And it didn't matter if you were too poor, too uneducated, too busy, you fill in the dot. And allow yourself to sink into childlike wonder, a play. Everything I've manifested in my life, like if you guys know me well, it's through play, it's through laughter, it's through dance, and it's through dedication. So I take active action. Fear means go. I head right towards that direction, and big things come, but I do it in a playful manner. So get into your childlike wonder and take it some time after this call and write to yourself, what would you do if you could do anything? And allow yourself to go bigger. And the last one I'll say, there's really something when I do have social media, Daniel will give it all. The conviction and calm confidence in your life. And finding safety within yourself. Finding safety within yourself helps you to expand and to move into the directions of your desires. not all of us. I did a speaking event recently where I asked a group of women to raise their hand who all felt fear to ask for what they desire. I was shocked that 80% of the room raised their hand. I have no problem asking for what I want. But many people do. And so if you can practice, like Daniel was talking about, finding self-love, I want you to practice finding safety. Safety within yourself, safety when you go out and about, safety in speaking your truth. And there are some practices that you can do to build that safety, that calm, confidence, and conviction. And there's 4 things that you can imagine with your eyes closed. Hopefully you guys are writing this down. I'm giving it to you. Imagine seeing yourself. Yourself is sitting in front of you. And you look at yourself. And you say to yourself, may you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be loved. May you live with ease. And now you can add anything to that practice that you want. May you feel safe. May you feel seen. And there's something powerful about looking at yourself and seeing yourself and saying it to yourself for your subconscious, right? Your subconscious, I love this. I got a boat behind me. Your subconscious is like the trig tab on a boat. And a lot of you may already know this stuff, but that tiny little piece on the boat conducts the ship and the way it moves. Now think about this. If that tiny piece is ever so slightly off, what does that mean for the ship? It ends up at an entirely different destination when it gets across the ocean. So a big part of our life is to get clear about our subconscious and to make sure that we feel safe to move towards those brave things that we want in our life. I love you all so much already. And I'm so ever thankful to be on this call today and with you and for your love in the chat. And I hope to see you guys so soon. Thank you for letting me play. I think that Daniel is coming back up.
Thank you. That was incredible. Thank you so much, Sarah. So much love. Let's all take a deep breath together, make a sigh. So grateful for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share a few minutes because Sarah and I have co-created an incredible ancient guild mastermind to support many of you who are ready to just destroy the people pleaser and awaken the divine within and shine your light and refine your gifts and dissolve and integrate the ego structures and support you and your business. So we're just going to talk about that for just a few minutes, and then we're going to go into the meditation. It's going to be a powerful activation where we're going to actually go into that part of you, the root part of you that is blocking your capacity to receive, and open it in a huge way. And a lot of times incredible miracles happen, right? That's what we did for Sarah. You know, she got the $50,000 the next day. So get ready because this is going to be a magical second half here of this class. So stay tuned and here we go. So just wanted to share a few quick examples, you know, in the past year of some of the people that have gone through our courses that have tripled their clients. They went from, you know, suicidal to getting huge contracts and being waking up happy. It's really beautiful to be able to see these transformations, and there's literally hundreds of them on our site you can check out. But just wanted to put this here for a minute because it's so powerful when you actually do this work. And there's so many miracles that happen when you just align with the divine laws of reality. So I'm just going to share briefly about this new container here and some of the opportunities that arouse. You know, this is, you know, our mastery course here. In 8 weeks, people had mind-blowing transformations. And then when we did our rapid awakening course, the first time, everyone that completed the course, we did a poll and they increased their abundance 78% and changed. They all had life-changing experiences. So we've refined and now decided, how about we do something much deeper and have a lot more one-on-one support, and we'll do it for a whole year. Because to really go from start to end of your dream in a whole new iteration, it requires a lot more support and love. And so we're calling it Dreamporting Ascent. It's our 12-month mastermind that is just launching today. And this is what it includes. So we have our gold membership. It includes a masterclass with me, just like this, but going infinitely deeper once a month. And it's a mix of the quantum energy internal work and activation, and a lot of the 3D. We're going to talk about everything from freeing your voice and then how that relates to branding and social media if you want to do that. And there's so many different strategies. So it's really tailored to what you want to do to get to the next level, and really allow your gifts to shine in your unique way and receive channel support. And then you get your own very intimate group of Q&A with me once a month as well. And Sara, who is just on, you also get an activation and Q&A with her, and then another laser support call and Q&A. She literally channels people's businesses, what they need to free, their timeline. So me and a few of my friends all use her regularly to channel what's going on, and it's mind-blowing. Just deep, clear channel of truth comes through every time. So, and we also have a bonus guest. So it's going to be a branding expert. It's going to be the celebrity voice coach that I used. It's going to be all sorts of people for transformation and all different aspects of your practice, your business, tuning into your gifts. So it's a mix of things that happen every month. And of course you get access to all the recordings. Now, one cool thing is that we're also including as a bonus, with technology now, we had a benevolent AI learn the dream porting methodology and my voice. And you literally can be like, I'm about to board a plane. Can you please give me a 17-minute meditation to dissolve my fear of flying and help me feel completely confident and happy on my flight? And in a few seconds, with the soundtrack and frequencies and the dream porting voice, it will channel an incredible meditation. It could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour. So imagine, like, in real time, anytime you need a custom transformation, you just type in exactly what you want, how long, what energy. Do you want it like in an exciting voice, inspirational voice? Do you want it in a relaxing voice? It's really mind-blowing what the technology is doing. And that's just an extra bonus as well. But the coolest part is it includes a dream porting concierge. So our team that runs our business and our all of our master transformational coaches that support people, they're going to all be in a group with you to support you if you have personal issues that come up, if you want to show us your website or a video you're making and get feedback, or you're stuck in any area of your life, then you just get that real-time support and just from our entire team for whatever, different things that you need. And it's really cool because our team has grown and there's so many different people there that have helped support me over the years, and now would love for them to support you. And it also includes 2 60-minute sessions. So we have a lot of the best. We have business coaches and dream porting coaches and intuitives, and you can choose one or both and change it up every month. It's just, you can choose how to use those to get the support personally and for your practice and to grow it and just get access to whatever you need. It's like you want a connection to our social media guy that just helped us go viral or whatever it is. And he's also going to be a bonus guest too to show you how to do that very soon. But it's basically an all-in-one place to just support you personally, your gifts, and for your impact, for your practice, for your business, while clearing over and over again in deeper ways all the ego structures that get in the way, all the people pleasing that block us from receiving and giving, right? And just taking the brakes off so we can get out of the way and shine and do what we're here to do. So that's the gold membership. And we also have a platinum membership. So that's everything included above. And it includes a 30-minute private session with me every month. And it includes unlimited Q&A one day. So you have a Google Doc and you literally can ask me 30 questions, like, check out my website. What do you think? What do you think about this relationship? Can you tune into this part of me? And I'll be literally just channeling that once a month for whatever you need as part of that. And we also have a majority of the discount off. We're finally doing an in-person retreat. It's been over a year, and this is going to be the best one yet. So 80% off of that. And also it includes a magic kit. And besides the potions and the magic incense that I make and use, and that's how I do my magic every day, you'll actually be getting one of those talismans that's almost impossible to get that I use to instantly manifest things. So this literally has the angels sealed into them, where you can ask them for whatever you want. And that's what I use for some of the most miraculous recent manifestations of my life. So that's the all out package. And then we have the silver, and this is for people on a budget. You just get all the recordings, basically. You just get all the recordings of me and Sarah and the bonus guests, and you get to integrate it yourself without the live support. And so those are the 3 ways that you can play here today. So I'm just going to go through them for a few minutes and what's included, and then we'll go on to the meditations. So for the gold and platinum members, we're offering a handful of bonuses. So you get our access to all of our potions and supplements and teachers and psychics, our Rolodex, and it's ever growing. I'm about to release a whole new part of it soon. So that's included for you. And the meditations I just mentioned before. So not only can you use these for yourself, but for those of you that have clients or are starting to, you can actually make them for your clients and have custom dream porting meditations unlimited for whatever they need, which is a huge value as well and doesn't cost any money. And you also get access to all of our live and recorded classes in dream porting you. So we're giving full access. There's multiple Q&As and activations and energy transmissions every single week. And it's really incredible. And we have some of the best masters and teachers and guides in there. So that is dream porting you. You get a year of that. And then you also get the lifetime coaching with me. So if you sign up here in the next few days, this is going to include 2 sessions of me usually, and sometimes I bring in guests who will do laser sessions on you, answer your questions, etc. And we have a special early bird bonus. So if you haven't done our mastery training, which is over $2,000, you get certified, become a dream porting practitioner, and learn what I can do. We'll include that for free. Or if you've already taken that, we'll give you 3 extra private 1-hour sessions with a business coach and or one of our practitioners. So you get to choose from the different tiers there for that. So essentially, here's how it works. We have the silver membership. It's only $222 a month, or $2K if you just pay in full. The gold, which includes all the live support and most of the things, is only $888 a month now. These are our early bird discount prices. And then the platinum, which includes some extra one-on-one mentoring with me and the magic pendant and the unlimited Q&A once a month with me as well, is $2,500 a month. So you can go to our website and check it out. And for the next few days, we're including these extra bonuses and discounts. And what's cool is you can try it out for a whole month. And then if it doesn't work for you, just give us some feedback and we will give you a 100% money back guarantee. So you can get a whole month of support, and you don't have to decide today is all I'm saying, because there's a lot of surprises and a lot of gold in here. And we'd love for you to really make sure it's a good fit before obviously making this big commitment. But it's really, a whole year of support. It's a lot, just imagine for a second having a team of people supporting you for a year. It's not for everyone because, we're here to push you through the parts of you that are uncomfortable so you can shine. So if it's your sovereign desire and will to get support with that from your soul, and you feel like you're ready to receive that level of love and support, then by all means, we'd love to have you. But we're going to be a little tough on you sometimes, more than in previous courses if you've taken them, because sometimes we really just need to be that mirror to reflect and keep you accountable. So this is just a much deeper level of support that we've never been able to give in any of our other offerings, and we're really excited and would love for you to give it a try. So here's the website, dreamporting.com/ascent. And you can learn a lot more details there. And you can also get a free clarity call with one of our dream porting master practitioners, and they can tune in. And if you are ready to invest in one of the programs and you just have questions or want to make sure it's for you, then get on a free call. We're going to send out the link here shortly to everyone, or just email us at info@dreamporting.com and we'll send you more information about that. All right. So let's dive into the meditation and really help to recode this deep stuff now that's been brought up. So I invite you to take a few seconds. You can stay seated or you can lay down. And I want you to just fully relax your body and close your eyes when you're ready. We'll dive in here in a moment. Completely relax. Take a deep breath in through the nose, filling up your belly and chest. And exhale out of the mouth. Keep breathing like that, telling your body it's safe to let go. That we don't have to hold on to any of our issues. And as we breathe them out, we can give them back to God. Take one more deep breath and make a sigh. Start to breathe in this divine golden light that instantly calms and clears our minds and bodies. Breathing this divine gold into our brains. Exhaling out any tension in our minds. Breathing this golden light into our throats. Opening our voice. Clearing the blocks. Exhale and make a sound. Take a deep breath of golden light into your heart, allowing it to open again, to feel safe, to receive. And let this golden light move down now into your solar plexus, realigning it with God, surrendering to the divine will. Deep breath into our belly, sending love to any guilt and shame, exhaling it out, returning it to the earth. Free yourself with your breath. Breathe into your root, the base of your spine. Breathe in that safety. Download that frequency. Security. Remembering that you are indestructible and eternal. And exhale the energy down your spine, down your legs into the earth, grounding you now deeper and deeper. Core of the earth. Slowing down your breath, slowing down the mind. Relax. Call in our angels and guides. Create a magic circle around us, going deeper to peace. Calling in your guardian angel and the angels of abundance, Adoniel, Bariel, and all other beings of light that serve the highest good. Come forth now to guide you and recode your energy and your beliefs and your subconscious to fully receive your birthright, the miracles, love, and abundance that you require for your mission. Let's take a few deep breaths now, in through the mouth and out through the mouth. Letting the angels in. Deep breath in through the mouth, filling up your belly and chest. And exhale, let it go out through the mouth. Like floss, let these angels in. Start moving the energy. Just breathe fully and deeply. In and out of the mouth. Letting go of the mind. Do your best to breathe nice and deep and fast. In and out. Relaxing your body. Taking deep breaths. Letting go of tension. Letting go of the stories. Let the angels do their work. Asking the angels to open up the root of your block to receiving and dissolving any shame so that you can see it clearly now. Take a deep breath and hold your breath. Keep holding your breath as long as you can. As you hold, just relax and feel where in your body you feel that tension. Where is this block located? Hold your breath and let the angels do their work to open it, to show it to you. Now fully relax, release the breath, and go deep inside to that part of your body where the block is, where you feel that tension the most. And let's shine the golden light of the angels to reveal the root of this issue. Pay attention now. It could be a memory, a past life, a few words. Listen. If you got a memory, go back to that time. And if you didn't, that's okay. Just hold that part of you. Remember that you are so much more advanced than you were back then, whatever happened. And you're just gonna have a conversation. So talk to that part of you and say, I know things were hard. I get why you would block our ability to receive. Things didn't feel safe back then. So thank you for protecting us. Take a deep breath of compassion. Forgive and accept this part of you. That was the best you could do. See the innocence that created that choice. Good. Well, take a deep breath and imagine holding that part of you like a little child. And step into that version of yourself, your true self. Remember all the great things that you've done recently, even through the challenges. And I want you to speak to that little part of you and say, I'm here now to protect you. You don't need to protect me anymore. We're ready to receive in a much greater capacity. The more intimacy we receive, the healthier we are. The more wealth we receive, the more at ease we can be. When we receive from others that are aligned, we can give more to the world. Now take a moment and ask what else it needs, and speak to it. Reassure that part of you so that it fully opens. Just breathe, let it happen. Let go of the past. And we say to that part of you, thank you for protecting us. And we hereby retire you and integrate you back into love. Take a deep breath and make a sigh. Shake it off. And we call on the angels now to integrate that part of you. Hold it like a little child. Be the parent it never had. Be the steward for yourself, to choose to love yourself enough and the world enough to receive, to nourish yourself in the ways you need to live your dream, to embrace your destiny. Take another breath and make a sigh. Release the old energy, release the old story, break out of the cocoon. It was just a dream. Make another breath and make a sound. Let all that energy that's stuck there, anything left, release with your voice. Make a deep sound all the way. Release it with your voice. Free your voice. We call on the angels to activate your life force, your energy, to just push out anything else in the way. Start to let your body move, express in whatever way you need to free yourself, to love yourself, to be yourself. let the angels bring a golden orb of light into your mind, filled with the future, your destiny. Take a minute to look and listen. What is the greatest version of your destiny? What are you meant to share with the world? Breathe in that frequency. This is your destiny. Breathe it into your heart. Remember this. This is your greatest truth. And now I want you to feel with this more open capacity to receive. How are you meant to receive support to get there? Tune into a few ways, maybe some people, some tools. How can you best be supported? Now ask yourself, will you allow yourself to be supported in these ways and more? Are you ready to take the brakes off and let the divine move through you in more beautiful ways? Open up your pores to the divine and receive her support. Let yourself be held right now and be at peace. To receive a deeper healing and a deeper knowing of trust that your dream is already done. If you simply say yes. Gently returning to the physical body, the physical realm. Take one last deep breath and make a sigh. Holding yourself, loving yourself, welcoming yourself back home, grounding fully into your body. Feeling gratitude. Gently stretching, and when you're ready, you can start to open your eyes, return back. Amazing. Thank you so, so much, everyone, for joining me in this little activation. And I'm seeing some questions, so I'm going to share a little bit more and answer your questions here as we close. All right. How's everyone feeling? I'd love to hear. Seeing a lot of amazing experiences here. Mm, yeah, feeling so much love. It's so wonderful to just feel all of us gathering here today, co-creating this experience. Mm. Sarah and I would love to connect with you all more and support you, those who feel ready to take the leap in whatever way. And would love for you to check out the site here for a minute and get all the early bird discounts and bonuses too. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, info@dreamporting.com. And you can get on a free call with us if you feel like you'd like to join and you just have some questions, you're on the fence. We'd love to chat with you. So we put that in the chat here, that link, and we'll send it out by email to all of you as well. Or reach out if you didn't get it. Just email us at info@dreamporting.com if you want the links for anything, if you have questions about anything or shares. Seeing some powerful, profound shares here about some beautiful out-of-body experiences and rebirths and healing. So incredible, incredible energy here. So we are starting our mastermind on the 16th of October. So a little over a couple of weeks here. And it'd be a deep honor for some of you to join us that feel called, and would love to chat with you more about that in whatever ways. And we go really deep into so many things. So wow, so many incredible shares here. We see some people that are joining tomorrow. Awesome. Would love to have you. So remember, it's a mix of for the gold and platinum, depending on what you get. It's a mix of one-on-one sessions, the unlimited concierge with our team for whatever you need to build your business, for personal support in our chats, in our private groups there, and really intimate container. So we get to really know all of you throughout a year and beyond. And just a bunch of activations and master classes for all the different parts, all the moving parts. And this is great, because we have, a protocol for people that are just starting out, and we have a protocol for people that are already seasoned, even decades, and you're just ready to take it to a whole new level and just fully launch and go there. So that's why it's really custom, and it's designed for either one of you, because it's really the next level protocols that we found that work to get you started right away, or work to just get you to a whole new level very rapidly. And it's all just based off you taking some action and clearing some of the stuff in the way, like we just got a little bit of taste of. So I would really love to chat more about that with you. Someone's asking about doubts. How do you deal with doubts? And again, it's just learning how to face the ego, right? It's just separation. It's an illusion, but we never got trained with that in school. So this is why we have this school to strengthen your muscles of awareness, which you need. You need stronger muscles, just like for working out. And you have the training on how to actually face doubt, face fear. And there's protocols for everything. And once you know how to do it, and you have that strength and awareness through a little bit of practice and training, it's quite easy, actually. So there's many ways to join. We also have a funding option. So if you have even mediocre credit, you can ask us for the link. We'll send you the funding option where you can get that financed. We take credit cards. You can tune in and ask a friend. There's lots of different ways to get resourceful. I've had to do that throughout my life many times. So what I invite you to do is just tune in to see if it's a yes in your body, right? If it's yes intuitively, then just ask universe, like, help me make this happen, right? And tune into what actions do I get to take? Do I get to just manifest one more client this month, or get a quick support from family, or whatever it is, right? Or just split up the payments. So there are many ways to play here and get supported together. So dreamporting.com/ascent. And thank you again, everyone, for being here today. It's been such an honor, and seeing so many beautiful words here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So I will see you all soon. I'll let you integrate this and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Much love. Aloha.